The Atlanta Falcons are bringing back a familiar face, and that is cornerback Mike Ford, an absolute special teams ace, a 2-year deal worth up to $4 million. I think this is a very good, low-key-esque signing. $4 million is not going to get a whole lot of headlines, but Mike Ford, he is nasty, he is gritty, he is a fourth liner if you know the NHL, and I love those kind of guys on my team, and I think Ford is going to have a great impact for Atlanta on special teams. So I want to break down this signing a little bit, and I also want to talk about Tyler Allgeier trade rumors that have come up and floated around the last 48 hours or so. So we'll talk about that in the second half of the video. But a little bit more on Ford first, who was with the Falcons back in 2022. So now that I think about it, he's going to be blown away when he sees the new locker room. But he's got some familiarity, of course, not with Raheem Morris, but with Terry Fontenot. He's a UDFA who's been around the league a little bit. He spent the last 2 years in Cleveland, where he was very valuable for the Browns on special teams. And now he comes back to Atlanta, where since playing with the Falcons in 2022 to present day, I'm looking at Pro Football Reference right now. He has played at least 72% of defensive snaps. He played 83%, special team snaps, not defensive, special team snaps. He played 83% of special team snaps in 2022 with the Falcons. He is not going to be a big contributor for you on defense, and you know what? That's fine, right? You brought back Mike Hughes. You've got A.J. Terrell, Clark Phillips. I'm sure you'll make some other additions as well, but not every signing has to have a major impact on offense or defense, and I think Ford is going to have a very big impact on special teams for Atlanta, which last year was not like an abysmal unit or anything. I hope Kadeo Hodge comes back to the Falcons because he was the special team spark, if you will, but I think there's always room to improve when you come off an 8-9 season, and while a special team signing may not feel very satisfying when you're still trying to correct the pass rushing issues, you can only fix one problem at a time. And for now, they are addressing the special teams, not disaster. That seems a bit dramatic, but a unit that can definitely improve. And most of that falls on Younghoe Koo's shoulders, but for now, I still like the Ford signing. In 2023, you saw his numbers there, but last year with the Browns in 2024, like I mentioned, not a ton of defensive snaps. He only played 58 snaps on defense last year for Cleveland compared to 333 on special teams. So, Ford, welcome back to Atlanta. Looking forward to see what he can contribute to the Falcons on special teams. Okay, so let's kind of recap a little bit of the signings the Falcons have made so far, some of the departures, and then we'll kind of shift gears and talk about the Tyler Allgeier trade rumors. But Atlanta has been not too busy so far in free agency. I guess actually probably compared to the rest of the league, they might have made the fewest signings in terms of external, but they extended Jake Matthews before free agency. That alleviated some cap space, which, by the way, every single team has to be cap compliant by 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm just going to look at over the cap right now on the air here. The Falcons are at $9.6 million, but that number is always fluid. Like, Ford's going to have a slight cap hit this year, so it's probably going to go down a little bit, but for now, they are cap compliant. The only two teams that are not cap compliant per over the cap at 12 p.m. Eastern is the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. But those are the signings the Falcons have made so far. Leonard Floyd, probably the biggest name of the bunch, coming over from San Francisco yesterday on a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. I don't believe that is going to fix all of their pass rushing problems, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I think it's an improvement from Matt Judon. So for that reason, I like it. Now, before this Ford signing, we had a whole video planned for this morning/early afternoon about a possible Trey Hendrickson trade still after signing Leonard Floyd. So we're going to do that video later on in the afternoon today. So if you're curious if Floyd's signing has an impact on Hendrickson, come back to the channel in a couple of hours, and we're going to talk about that then. But as for some departures, just 3, but 2 are very notable. Drew Dahlman went to the Bears. Grady Jarrett also shared a flight to Chicago with Drew, and Richie Grant across the country to San Francisco to try and replace Talanoa Hufanga, who signed with the Broncos. So those are all the guys coming in and all the guys going out. Now, before we talk about Allgeier and a possible trade, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I don't want you guys missing any more free agency news, rumors, trades, signings, tracker, all that. So hit the sub button down below. Help this channel reach 34,000 subscribers. If you're already subscribed, I cannot thank you enough. Click that thumbs up button for me, though. So let's talk about some of the trade rumors that have surfaced around Allgeier. Trade rumors feels like a little... maybe like a step below trade rumors because I haven't seen anyone actually reach out. Whispers. I like whispers. Yeah, whispers. So I don't believe, and this is an opinion, this is not like a here's what I'm hearing thing. I don't believe Allgeier will be traded between now and the NFL draft. The reason being is I'm struggling to rationalize why a team would trade for Allgeier. Not that he's not a very good player, but it's a great running back class. And Allgeier himself was a 5th-round draft pick. So if a team's going to give up a 5th for Allgeier, why not get your own Allgeier, who you'd have for longer and who's younger? So what's the thinking behind another team trading for Allgeier in a stacked RB class? I can understand maybe why the Falcons would be more receptive to it. Allgeier comes off a phenomenal season when he was, I wouldn't say Batman Robin, someone below Robin. What's Bruce Wayne's like butler? Do you remember his name? Arthur? Alfred. Okay, I'm not a big, is that even Marvel? That's not Marvel. DC. Okay, I'm not a big superhero guy. So this is like Batman and Alfred. I could see why another team thinks Allgeier's a good player. I could see why the Falcons would want to keep Allgeier, but I also could see the Falcons going, hey, we're ready to put a little bit more on Bijan's plate, and we only have 5 draft picks. So while we aren't actively shopping Allgeier, it might be too good of an offer to turn down with what's best for the team long term. Gain an extra and very much needed draft pick right now with 5 altogether, 2 in the 7th round, which I think are worthless. So I'm only looking at 3 picks for the Falcons. You could add 4 right there, or add a 4th, and if you're ready to put more on Bijan's plate, you took Jace McClellan from Alabama last year in day 3 of the draft. You got Avery Williams. You could run it with those 2 guys, insert maybe another rookie or UDFA or maybe in a free agent signing. I'm not sure, but that's the thinking behind if I get a notification Atlanta traded Tyler Allgeier to, I don't know, whoever, and I do the video about it, my first thought would be, all right, if we're going to try and think why did the Falcons do it, it's because they really, really need draft capital, and they've got a really, really good running back in Bijan who can take on a little bit of a bigger workload. I mean, I'm just going to look up Bijan's stats right here in terms of how busy he was last year because he did get plenty of touches, but I think there's definitely more that can be pushed. Yeah, 304 carries. That's not a little, but I mean Zeke in his heyday was getting like 350. So if you're thinking, well, we're going to put 40 more carries onto Robinson's workload, that means we're taking 40 away from Allgeier. And if Allgeier, who got 103 carries last year, is only going to get 60 carries in our new offense or what we're projecting to do in 2025, then is it really worth holding on to a guy? 137 carries last year. So 90 carries from Allgeier, 5th-round draft pick. Again, this is all under the assumption of they want to give Robinson, more touches, which means less touches for Allgeier. That is my best reasoning that I can come up with for why or how a trade could materialize. But I still go back to what I said at the very beginning. What team's trading for him? He's a good player. I like Allgeier, right? But it's such a good running back class. And if it's so deep, why give up a pick when you can just go get your own young running back with a 4-year contract? Maybe a team feels like, listen, we don't like this running back class. All it takes is 1. And we don't, we like this running back class for rounds 1 through 3, but we have bigger needs at those spots. And we don't think there's going to be anyone good in rounds 4 or 5. So we'll take one of our day 3 picks and swap it for Allgeier because the running back we would have gotten at that same selection is not going to be as good. That's, I guess, the only thinking I can come up with. I'm just trying to, play both sides here a little bit so everyone feels like their argument is heard. Now, before we kind of wrap up today's video, Over at Fanatics, they have an awesome deal going on, this Falcons hoodie and more, 25% off when you use our link, chatsports.com/fanatics. So if you want to get some more Falcons merch in your closet and support the channel too in the process, use our link, chatsports.com/fanatics, down below in the comment section. So to summarize, we had Mike Ford re-sign, or not re-sign, but come back to Atlanta after 2 years in Cleveland. He is going to be a valuable member of the special teams unit. Mike Hughes did re-sign yesterday. Dee Alford still a free agent, and I don't think he's coming back. So either the Falcons are going to put Clark Phillips at nickel, or they've got a roster hole to fill in free agency or the draft. But Mike Ford, welcome back to Atlanta. It's been a really cool story for him. UDFA went to Southeast Missouri, SEMO, one of the directional school. If you have 2 directions in your college's name and you make it to the NFL, fully guaranteed contract. Yeah, Southeast Missouri. You get it's South and East. Usually it's just one of the two. So kudos to Ford. He's been in the league. Started with the Lions, went to the Broncos, the Falcons, the Browns, back to Atlanta. So he's had a good career so far, and happy to see him join the Falcons special teams ranks. That's going to do it for us on today's episode for now. We will be live on the channel. We're going to go live at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. I was going to go live a little bit earlier, but then this news broke, and I just didn't want to kind of cluster it all together, and I figured we'll space it out a little bit. So I'll see everyone in a couple hours here on the channel live for day 3 of NFL free agency.